Hey y'all!
Howdy, friends.
Welcome back to another episode of Girl That's Scary. We're here with Black History Month. It's not a regular episode, okay? We're back. Yeah, we're doing. I see cats excited. It's our first interview of the month for Black History Month. You know how we do. We always pretty much take over Dread Central for the whole 29 days. It's a leap year. We get an extra day in Black
We
History
love it.
Month. Yes.
366.
Yes.
I love it.
Okay. Yeah, we eat for 29 days. Now, we got a special guest for y'all this time, okay? We are here joined with Horror for Kids. I know y'all seen this page. If you haven't, you need to go ahead, open up your Twitter, use your thumbs, and go ahead hit that follow button. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at all of y'all. And now, we on video now. Y'all can see me eye to eye, okay? But I'm going to go ahead and let you introduce yourself. Tell people where they can find you and all of your social media and all of the work you do.
Thank you so much for the lovely introduction. I'm Horror4Kids. I celebrate all things that are children's horror media. Could be TV shows, movies, games, anything that used to scare you is what I want to highlight and celebrate. And you can find me on X, Twitter, at Horror4Kids. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook, all with the same name. And more recently, TikTok, which I'm brand new to, so I'm just venturing into that whole TikTok world now. But it's been a lot of fun, and there's so much creativity that you can do there. So that's where you can find me. So I pretty much I want to celebrate kids horror, and it's really the followers who have made Horror for Kids as big as it is, because man, the discussions, the conversations that go on like all of the posts just are so insightful and nostalgic, and all those vibes are what I like to kind of curate into my timeline to kind of share with people, because what a lot of people don't know about me is that I'm a huge chicken. I'm a big chicken. So I grew up with horror. For me, was within the realms of PG and PG-13, but I loved it. Now that's recently changed. I'd say the past 3 or 4 years, I've gotten into the more like R-rated titles and more mature horrors. But for a long time, it was all PG-13 movies. So I really kind of gravitated towards that, and my love for that just kind of thrived. And so that's what I really want to share with the world.
I was muted. That is so interesting. Like to find that you are into like cartoon, because we know how that is. You're like 7 years old, 8, 9 years old, and you
Yeah.
watching the marathon of Courage the Cowardly Dog at 2 o'clock in the morning, knowing you supposed to be asleep, and that mummy is just standing there like ooh in the
Yeah.
middle of nowhere, shook, scared.
Return to
Some of the best times were like when you're discovering horror for the first time. And you're absolutely right. Courage the Cowardly Dog, all those shows are what definitely sparked my love for it.
Absolutely.
Oh, listen, because I was like, I'm itching, baby. I'm not playing. Okay, so we know that interviewing your faves and some of our faves and some of your faves as the viewers in our nostalgic horror realm is your bag. So my question is, what has been your favorite thus far? Like, what has been the most exciting for you? And are there any that like interviews or folks that you want to chat with that you haven't gotten a chance to yet, but you're like, yes.
I think, I really appreciate all the interviews that I've been able to conduct, especially with like the authors, the up and coming young children's authors who are coming out with some amazing horror literature for kids. But I think my favorite, or the most kind of groundbreaking one for me, was interviewing the Are You Afraid of the Dark creator, DJ McHale. Are You Afraid of the Dark is my favorite show. I can recite whole episodes, and so having the chance to talk to the person that created it was just a dream come true for me. And all of his answers were so good, and so like I learned so much from it. And just hearing some of the behind the scenes trivia that I didn't know before, that whole thing was a dream come true. That was probably one of my favorites for sure.
Ooh, I
For
love
sure.
that. So
Yeah.
I want to piggyback off of that because I too am an Are You Afraid of the Dark stan. What's one of your favorite like episodes? Like, what are the
Ooh,
hits?
man, my favorite Are You Afraid of the Dark episodes. The Tale of the Frozen Ghost, I'd say, is probably one of my favorites for sure. Just because growing up in Canada, it's cold here, and so I remember my mom would scare me all the time. She'd pop out of my closet and go, "I am cold, I am cold," like the ghost did, right? So that was one of my favorites. The Shiny Red Bicycle. That's another classic episode. There is an episode towards, I believe it's season 7 or season 6. The Night Nurse. I may have gotten that wrong. The Midnight Nurse, or the Night Nurse. But and you know what? It centers around a black family as well, which is great to see. And it's about this nurse who, in her, she's a ghost, but she, I don't know if I should spoil it, but she kind of she gives a child the wrong medicine, and it ends up essentially killing the child. And so it's the ghost of the nurse haunting this new family, and it's just so well done, so good.
Okay.
Tale of the Midnight Madness is a great one too. That's the one in the movie theater with Nosferatu. That's always great to see, and that's DJ McHale's favorite episode. He said in our interview, which was so cool to learn too. And he said that because, by that time, by season 2, the ball has started to roll a little bit more in terms of production and whatnot. So he really felt like that episode in particular is where like all sides were just on point, were just perfected. So the Tale of the Midnight Madness is for sure one of them as well.
Ooh, that's good. I like that pool monster sent me to hell.
Yes.
My entire life.
I'd love to hear what some of your favorite episodes are too. The pool monster one's iconic.
Ooh.
The plumber guy, the one with the dollhouse.
Yes, the dollhouse. The dollhouse. That's a good one.
Am I a doll right now? I don't know.
Maybe you trapped forever because some of them kids was dying. Like some of them kids didn't come back, and I'm a little scared.
It's so true. It's so true. And like, Are You for the Dark? Even towards like the latter seasons, it touched on some pretty dark topics like cannibalism, which as a kid, like that was my first exposure to what cannibalism is, and it was terrifying to see that woman go into that condo, and then the next thing they saw was her clothing and like on the sheets and whatnot. Oh man, that episode was so well done. So yeah, a lot of themes that are a little bit more mature side were introduced to kids through Our Year for the Dark. So definitely one of my favorite series.
Absolutely.
I stand.
Yes, we both stand.
Goosebumps, Our Year for the Darks, all those kids anthology series, you can count me in.
I'm so excited. I'm just like, yes.
I love it.
No, I think you answered one of our questions, like, how does like family, or why does family friendly horror, why does it draw you in? Because of course the nostalgia, but of course you said, you grew up with that horror, like that was what you were watching until. So I'm like, okay, you got a bond with that. I wonder if you could tell us a little bit more about Horror4Kids as a whole. Like, how did it start? Where did it start? And from where it has grown into? Because it's pretty huge now. Okay,
Thank you so much.
You out here.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. So Horror4Kids, I call it my COVID baby because it came to be during the time where I wasn't working. We were in lockdown. And it's something that I always wanted to do, was to kind of start a page that shared these, kids horror and my love for it. But what I kind of wanted to do first was have it as like a summer camp. So what I wanted to do is kind of have like a summer camp / like after school program where like, parents could drop their kids off, and instead of just being a regular like daycare kind of thing, it'd be a horror themed one, like a family friendly horror themed daycare, where we'd watch episodes of Goosebumps and Scooby-Doo and do arts and crafts, and we'd make like stuff, fun stuff, all sorts of arts and whatever, paintings, whatever, with the kids. And I would kind of teach them or like introduce them to horror through family-friendly outlets, right? And so the thing about that is that I would still love to do that, but it's just so much to think about in terms of like a space for that and when it would run and when my schedule would work with that. So what I started with was a social media page, which is what I'm like, okay, cool. At the very least, what I can do is maybe start to put the word out there. And then, I just started to post like my favorite clips from my favorite kids horror movies, or like some of the behind the scenes that I would watch. And then like in I think it's 3 years now, people have really gravitated towards the post. And like, as I said, the discussions around them and all of the people chiming in with their 2 cents. Sometimes I get people that worked on the episode saying things about it, which is always so much fun. And so it's just been a whole community effort to really push kids horror. And I'm so proud of like not just the page, but like I'm so proud of where kids horror is today. Like if you look at all the amazing kids horror shows that we have today, Curses and Fright Crew and the reboot of Goosebumps, all we're thriving. We're thriving. There's so much kids horror out here, and so there's so much to talk about, so much to celebrate, and yeah. So that's pretty much where Horror for Kids kind of started. And where it's going now. What I would like to do with Horror for Kids is, keep up those interviews. I love doing those interviews, and I'm the one that I'm doing next actually is with Tim Jacobus, who is the original illustrator on the Goosebumps book. So he did all those Goosebumps books, where Tim Jacobus' work. And so I'm interviewing him, I think, next week. I'm so excited about that too.
Yeah, I owe you a question.
I'm just excited. Yeah, that's right. You do. And so one of the things that I wanted to do with that, and what I kind of want to do moving forward, is because I've seen how much the community support for Horror for Kids is, I would love to have a format where, the followers are like ask the questions, because I want people to feel as much included with Horror for Kids as I feel. And I remember growing up in all those Fox Kids sweepstakes and all that stuff that I never won. Like, I want people to feel like they're winning, like a sweepstake, and they get the chance to ask Tim Jacobus a question that they've always wanted to know, or they get to ask DJ McHale a question about Are You for the Dark. That would be my goal for Horror for Kids.
Yes, community base. We love that. What a people.
Course. I mean, I owe it all to like my followers, like how big this account's gotten. So I definitely want the whole Horror for Kids to feel very much so included with what I have happening.
As you can see, I am ecstatic because
I love it.
I need to know what's good with Say Cheese and Die. I have questions.
I
just want to know, like, you might as well just write this down there, like, just like, why is it the best cover? Like, what is your favorite cover, and why is it Say Cheese and Die or Fear Adolescents Can't Be Murdered? Like, what is it?
I love that. That's a great question. I will definitely. For you, I'll definitely ask him that, because I want to know the same thing. Like, how did the idea of like this skeletal picnic happen? Like, how do you think of that? You know what I mean? So that's definitely on my list of questions to ask. So thank you for that, for sure.
No problem. I'm not gonna hold you. That drew me in. I had a question before I guess Jazz asked another question, and we get into our game.
I love that.
So we were talking a little bit before we hit the record button, so y'all jealous, about what they do and all that nature, and we got to hear a little bit about like some of your additional interests, which is like SFX work. So do you want to? I would love to hear a bit more about that, if you're open to sharing, and how that plays into Horror for Kids, and also will we be seeing that next to you, because I'm in your business?
That's a great question. So yeah, I definitely started with I love horror special effects. I love the behind the scenes. I'm sure you can tell from the post, I try and find as many like behind the scenes stuff as I can, especially involving makeup or special effects, because that's what I wanted to do when I got into the industry. And I went to college for it. And I had the chance to work on Hannibal. I'm not sure if you've ever seen the TV show Hannibal before. Hannibal, season 1, episode, I want to say 6. They build, or there's a totem pole of severed like heads and arms and legs and whatnot. So I actually helped to build that, and so that was so much fun. And I did that while I was in college. That was so much fun. And then, kind of after school, I got tossed into the fashion side of things with like fashion weeks and beauty editorials and whatnot, and I kind of stayed there. But my love for horror and special effects has always been there. And like one of the first things I ask my students is like, who here wants to get into like special effects? And you should see, like, of a class of like 15, I'd say like 10 or 12 are here for horror and are here to do horror related makeups, which is so cool to see the next generation so interested in like the work of some of the greats and whatnot. So I got into the industry of makeup to be a special effects artist, and I just so happened to get sidetracked. But hopefully, one day I might return to it. I might have an opportunity to do something else with horror, and that's what I really look forward to.
Listen, love that. We love special effects in this house.
Oh man, that was one of my first loves. Like I remember, going through Fangorias and going through magazines and seeing all the special effects, makeup, and Rick Baker and Greg Nicotero and all the whole Walking Dead, all that. Like, that was, for me, coming up, that was amazing to see. Amazing. And so I really hope to kind of share my love of that with my followers, and I hope it resonates with them too.
All right. Yes. I hope we get to see that because I'm into it. I'm trying to see all the zombies, vampires, ghouls, creatures, just whatever y'all can make. I would love a new monster. Listen, I know the makeup probably be taking 9, 10, 12, 13, 14 hours, but it'd be worth it.
It's worth it. That's right.
It's worth it. It's what nightmares are made out of.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
So I think I'm gonna dive into like one of our we usually use these for icebreakers, but we were already chatting, so we don't need to break the ice. But I'm gonna just ask one of these, especially because you talked about your interest in fashion. So I'm assuming, well, not assuming, but I'm sure when you watch horror movies, you're looking at their outfits. You seeing the looks, you're seeing the costume.
Yeah.
I would like to know, like, what horror outfits, are there any, like, outfits from horror movies that you remember that you would like to put in your closet? Any pieces in particular? A boot, a coat, a hat, a bag?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. You know what? I think I like, not so much for my closet, but one of the movies that I recently saw that I was like, wow, that's a great wardrobe, was Ready or Not. And Ready or Not, the wedding dress and all that, like the looks in that movie were phenomenal. Outside of the makeups, the looks were just amazing. And so I think that would be up there for me. What else? What are some good ones?
Anything from the 70s. Blaxploitation. People overlook blaxploitation, but they have outfits. And I feel like those people dress themselves. I feel like they just put that outfit on and they showed up at the party. They just like dancing. They always dancing to the music. You know it's not nobody dancing to silence. They are on beats.
That's a good, 70s movies are phenomenal for that. Like just the ambiance, the music, the outfits, everything. Not Attack the Block. Vampires in the Bronx had some really cool outfits there too. Modernized, didn't show anything too crazy, but would show very realistic modern New York attire. So that was pretty cool too, I think.
We love that. That movie is so cute, and again, it's for the kids.
Great gateway horror movie into vampires, right? So that's what it's all about for me.
Yes, vampires and gentrification. Here we go.
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to be like, yes, vampires. Absolutely not to gentrification.
Absolutely.
No, thank you. Okay, just to switch gears, just a smidget. So here is the Would You Rather.
Ooh, I love this game. I love it.
Okay. And for those who do not know what Would You Rather is, it's a quick game. We try to, it's a couple scenarios, and would you either do this or do this? What's good? What you finna do? And so we're gonna figure it out. First one, would you rather have the talk to me hand, that hand from that movie when they was talking to them people, or the puzzle box from Hellraiser, the Cenobite puzzle box? We either talking to the dead people in there, or we talking to the people, the priest and them friends. Would you rather?
Talk to me, hands down. Talk to me, hand. You know what? I was about to order it until I saw that it was it's on back order or whatever. But the Talk to Me hand, that movie, honestly, like outside of Horror4Kids, my love for horror is horror. But that movie for me was the 2023 horror movie of the year. Like I love Talk to Me. I loved it so much. I thought that hand and what it represented and what it could do. I loved how thought out the whole process was of like, first you see who you're talking to, and then if you want to engage from there, then you can, or like you can back out. That whole concept was so well thought out, and I really feel like that hand I would have a lot of fun with, for sure. Not to take away anything from Hellraiser, but I think, for sure the Talk to Me hand.
Either or, I'm scared.
Either or, I'm scared. Yeah, especially I don't know if you that first demon that Maya saw with it, like it was like that. I don't know if she had some growths or whatever. That makeup was phenomenal. Phenomenal.
The bloated girl, yeah.
Yes, the very first one that she saw.
Yeah, that was. Ooh. It looked good. Let me
Yeah.
tell you. Yeah, I'm with you with the talk to me hand. I'm a little scared that you gonna knock that Hellraiser puzzle off the shelf and it's gonna solve itself, and not a Cinnabite's in your living room, Harlem
Yeah,
shaking,
that's it.
asking you to come with them.
That's
I
it.
am not leaving.
And you know what? You're absolutely right. I feel like the Cenobites were a little bit more aggressive in their pursuit of you. Like the talk to me thing, like it was totally on you. It was voluntarily. As soon as you call those Cenobites, they are there. They are coming. Like you know what I mean? So I feel like that would be a little bit too much for me.
I would choose to leave the room, but that's not a real answer. So because I'm scared. I just feel like if I choose to talk to me hand, it'll be just my luck that the hand, whoever, when you hit that let me in, they're gonna want to stay. Just like what happened with me, like it was time to let go. Spoiler, 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 spoiler. And they wasn't trying to leave, so I don't really know, but I think I might lean towards that because you're right. If I hit the box, although I'm into the solving the puzzles, I
Yeah.
think I just would have it on the shelf. I wouldn't actually try to solve it. Like it would just be in a glass, and then
Yeah.
I'd be like, "Don't you do that."
It's a cool display piece for sure.
Don't touch it though.
That's a good one.
All right. You want me to ask the next one? Would you rather?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right. Would you rather watch a movie alone with Art the Clown or take a nap with Freddy Krueger?
Hoo, hoo, hoo. You know what? I would take a nap with Freddy Krueger for the simple reason that I feel like regardless between the two, I'm going to die. And the way Art be killing people is not for me. I would much rather, endure some sort of like weird, trippy kind of like dream sequence kind of thing and just kind of work with that than like Art the Clown throwing salt and bleach on my open wounds and whatnot. You know what I mean? So I'd probably rather Freddy Krueger.
I understand. I fully understand.
Freddy Krueger is just gonna shank me up a couple of times, you know what I mean? But what Art's gonna do to me is a little much. No.
No. And you know what? I feel like Art won't stop. Like even after the movie's over and you leave, he gonna follow you home. Freddy Krueger, you might be able to pull him out the dream and fade him one time. Like you might have to shoot you the one. If you can get him out the dream, he got to throw them hands, and
That's
then after
right.
that, it's a one-on-one. It's a one-on-one.
Right, you're absolutely right. That's hilarious. No, that's so true.
All right, last question. Would you
Okay.
rather stay at the Airbnb from Barbarian or the Bates Motel?
I'd rather stay in the Airbnb from Barbarian, to be honest with you, because, as soon as I know, that's a tough one. And I'm seeing your reaction to it, and you're like, what? But, the Bates Motel is crazy. I'm going to go with the Barbarian Airbnb just because, I'll tell you why. Because, you know, if I know it's in the basement, then I can kind of block it off. I can go to other parts of the house. The only thing about Barbarian that was when she woke up and the door was open. So if it's gonna be walking around at night, that's a different story. You know what I mean? You better stay in your basement. You better stay in the basement. But yeah, I'd probably say the Barbarian house.
Okay. I'm scared in both situations.
Both situations, yeah, for sure.
Because that door was open. That door was open.
That door
Also
was
Norman.
open, yeah. And you know what? The movie, I don't think the movie made clear that it was the guy. So the only other person that could have been was what was in the basement, and that's terrifying.
Well, she do love roaming the streets at night because the man said she be out getting up at night, so you need to go ahead and sit down somewhere because I seen her.
That's right. He did warn her about that, and look, he was right. He was right about the whole thing.
And right and gone with the wind. So
Terrible.
yeah, but yes, thank you so much for coming on and
So
playing our
much fun.
game.
That was so much fun.
Listen, hopefully you stay alive through all these situations, so we can continue to see the Horror for Kids page, because We don't want you to go out via the Deep Talk to Me Demons or Freddy Krueger or the Barbarian Girl. You know, honestly, if you just like sit in the closet and sit real still, like staying still, I think you might look invisible and she might not even say that to you. If you just stand real still for a long time, you could be like Drax and just...
It's a baby.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Exactly. You can you can call for help, like, and try to assess what that situation is, but Bates Motel is different.
It is different.
That scared me as a kid. Yeah, for sure.
You don't know if it's Norman or his mama coming to beat your ass.
Say, it could be him or his mom, right? And you don't know. And they're both crazy.
They're both
crazy.
wild.
Yeah.
Send for help.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yes, thank you so much for, being our first interview of Black History Month, setting it off, okay? Yeah, we finna set it off like Juvenile in here. We here, yep. I'm looking at the crowd. We're about to set it off for all 29 days.
Listen. I said this before we started to record, and I'll say it again. Like, what you two are doing in horror is just absolutely amazing. It's inspirational. Like, I wish you guys all the best. You guys have been such a motivating factor for me, and I'm sure so many other creators, black, white, but especially of color. You know what I mean? Like, to see two sisters doing so well in horror in a genre that we love is just, it makes me so proud. So proud.
I'm going to explode into a bunch of tears of confetti.
Thank you so much. My eyes are sweating.
Oh, no, you're right. Look, I mean every word of that. Like, I swear to God, like, I've been following you guys for as long as I've had the Horror4Kids account, and, like, you guys have literally just been nonstop sources of just inspiration. Everything I see you guys do, all those cons you guys go to, all those panels you host, Dread Central, like, you guys are just nonstop motivation. So thank you for that.
Wow.
Thank you, because I am also motivated by you and all the fun things you do. I'm motivated by everybody, bro. Like
everybody. Man, and like there was I forgot what con it was, but man, I saw you guys were there with Zero and Sheree and Bobby and all of them. I'm like, I gotta make it out to one of these for sure.
Oh, it's probably BlurCon. You need to pull up.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
you need to come on
this
through.
This is
July.
This is it. Okay, cool. I'm gonna plan for
We'll
that.
send you the information.
I'm gonna plan for that, because honestly, that was like, this is amazing to see so many black creators in horror and all my favorites in one spot. Like, I have to make it out there in July for sure.
A panel or something.
Yeah, look, me just being there with y'all would be fantastic, but I would love to do anything that y'all put me up for sure.
Well. Thanks for putting yourself on the chopping block for us to call you later. But yes.
Hey, anything you want. It's all good.
But yes, thanks for coming. Guys, you're going to be every week. We're going to have an interview pulling up on y'all. So be on the lookout, okay? Follow Horror4Kids on everything. Again, I'm going to be looking at you. But also... Exactly. We better be mutuals.
Girl That's Scary. Follow Girl That's Scary. Girl That's Scary is killing it right now. Killing it.
Listen, guys, thank you so much. But yes, be on the lookout at Girl That's Scary for all of our upcoming interviews. We have some physical events, okay, going down. We will be outside a little bit with our mask on, but we going to be outside, okay? So come pull up on us. And until next time, y'all. Yes, it is virtual stuff. Until next time, y'all. Bye.